Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. Today we're going to look at your Qimen Dunjia destiny chart and check what your health is going to be like in 2025. Are there any risks, any health risks, anything that you need to be aware of to make sure that you have a good health in the year 2025, the year of the wood snake? Now, as always, firstly, you do have to plot your team and destiny chart. You can do this via this link, and I'll also post a link in the description of the video. And then you will get a chart like this. This is your destiny chart. You do need your time of birth to plot the destiny chart. Without a correct time of birth, you will still get a chart, but it may not be an accurate one. But nevertheless, once you've plotted the chart, it will look something like this. And maybe the colors may a little bit be different and the components in the palaces look different, but this is essentially what it looks like. Now, I know for beginners, this is very, very confusing because there's so much going on, but thankfully we are only looking at one key component here. And that is what we call the grain star. So the grain star in this particular chart is here in the Northeast Palace. So the grain star will be somewhere in the top center of one of your palaces, anywhere in your chart. In this instance, it's in the Northeast, but it could be in the North, Northwest, the West, Southwest, South, Southeast, or East. So just check where you have this particular heavenly star, the grain star. This is the one that we are focusing on whenever it comes to health concerns in Qimen Dunjia. And depending on what sort of energies are taking residence on an annual basis in 2025 in that particular palace where the grain star is located, we are faced with a different health outlook. So let's just say your health palace is actually in the Northeast, like in this particular case. Then you need to ideally go for a scan at the beginning of the year because there may be some cell issues, maybe a form of growth. It could also be just a mole somewhere on your face or on your body that is also a cell growth. Yeah, maybe a small cyst. But the good news is it is very, very, very likely to be benign. It may be a little bit difficult to be detected, so that's why I'm saying go for a scan. It's not easily seen, but there is some chance that you may have some cell issues, right? So make sure that you get a full checkup at the beginning of the year if your grain star is in the Northeast Palace. Now, if it is located in the East Palace, um, then you should be a little bit more careful with alcohol consumption this year. It's either going to make you sick or cause you some sort of illness, or it's just going to make it more difficult to recover from a hangover in 2025. Um, and so, just reduce your alcohol intake if at all possible. Now, there's also a chance that other people may be the cause of your health issues. So, for example, you go and visit someone in the hospital, and while you're in the hospital, you get sick or you get infected with something. Maybe you get a really, really bad cold or a really bad flu. Um, or it could be that you get into an accident because someone else was not driving carefully. So just be very, very vigilant. There's just small issues, so there's no real massive danger of a critical health issue. It's generally quite vibrant and a good health year. Small issues may appear, and they're usually related to either over drinking or just because other people are not careful. Then we've got the Southeast Palace. So let's say your grain star is located in the Southeast. Then you may have to go through quite a lot of muscle pain, neck pain, back pain, sort of like strains and pains that have to do with the muscle, yeah? So try to maybe get a few massages in or go see an osteopath or a chiropractor or a physio whenever you're dealing with pain because it's likely to drag on a little bit. It's not that easily solved. Um, You may also be affected by illnesses or discomfort that has to do with your kidneys, um, with your prostate. If you are a male, then take extra care of your testicles. So you could go for a checkup as well, because there may be some issues there as well. Maybe also a hernia could be one of the health issues that you're facing. So try to be a little bit more careful. Generally speaking, there could also be constipation issues or piles or things like that. So not altogether all that pleasant, but it's not major. They're not life-threatening issues. They're not major. Yeah, so that's the good news. So you just have to be a little bit more careful. Now, if your grain star is in the South Palace here, you may be suffering more from colds and flus and maybe, I mean, in severe cases, a pneumonia, but that's probably rather rare. If you are suffering already from sort of sinusitis, or you have like sinus issues and you're sneezing a lot, or you're allergic to pollen in the spring, then there will be more of that probably in 2025. So it's going to be a little bit more aggravating, more severe than in other years. And there is a slight chance, so not a big risk, but there's a slight chance that you may have to go for some sort of medical intervention, some small surgery. Again, surgery sounds like a very, very scary word, and I understand, but a surgery could also be something like a mole removal. From a metaphysics perspective, that is called a surgery. But if you do have to undergo a medical treatment or a medical intervention that requires a cut or that requires surgery, then ensure that you are not going into the surgery while you're having a cold or a flu, because that can lead to complications, in the sense that it's going to be much, much harder for you to recover. Then the next one is the southwest sector here. So the southwest sector is actually quite stable. So if this is where your grain star is located, overall your health is quite stable in 2025. So congrats to that. There may be some small bodily injuries due to exercise, or maybe you have a small accident while you're exercise, but again, nothing life-threatening. It's overall quite stable. You don't need to worry too much. The west sector here, if this is where your grain star is located, there you have to be a bit more careful. There could be sudden pains, maybe sudden falls, unexpected falls, or accidents, or other just painful events. If you have heart issues already, then be extra careful, because there could be those issues could be aggravated in 2025. Now, whatever illness or whatever issue you have, fear not, because it will definitely not kill you. Even if you have a stroke, it will not kill you, because there are some components in that annual chart overlapping into your destiny palace that are lifesavers. So you really, I mean, it sounds a little bit scary, I'm aware of that, but whatever happens, whatever illness you happen to pick up in 2025, you're definitely going to come out of it uh, on the other side in a healthier state. Yeah. Just go for a checkup, maybe go for a detox, work on your immune system in 2025, and you'll be much, much safer. Then we've got the northwest sector here. So if you have your grain star in the northwest sector, you'll likely face a lot of stress. So everything in life is going to stress you out in 2025. So your career stresses you out, life situation stresses you out, maybe your health stresses you out, and that creates more stress. So stress is the main cause of discomfort in 2025, or is the main cause of health issues, and it could lead to bloating or stomach cramps or stomach ulcers, these sort of things. So if you do discover some sort of illness in 2025, make sure you treat it immediately. Go see a doctor, make sure that you're taken care of, because otherwise the stress that you're generally experiencing in 2025 is going to amplify it. Yeah. And that's definitely not what we want. And then lastly, the north sector. So if you have your grain star in a north sector, you may have to deal with a lot of issues related to inflammation, maybe joint inflammation, arthritis, rheumatism, um, bone issues, yeah, these kind of things. So there will be some sort of health crisis due to inflammation, but don't let it get that far. So if you feel like you have sort of like a muscle cramp or maybe some muscle pain after a strenuous exercise, treat it immediately with anti-inflammatory or maybe go see a physiotherapist rather than thinking, oh, it's going to go away. It's probably going to get worse if you don't do anything about it. Yeah. Um, and there is also, for those who have the grain star in the north, there is a slight indication again of a small medical intervention that requires a cut, or maybe a small surgery, but it will solve whatever problem it's supposed to solve. So it's definitely gonna fix things if it gets that far. All right. So this is the health outlook for 2025, depending on where your grain star is located. And again, prevention is always the best treatment. So now you know what you're going to be faced with in 2025. Take precautions and just go for a checkup at the beginning of the year to make sure that at least you start the year on a blank slate with good health. Okay. Now, if you would like to have a more comprehensive reading with me, please do get in touch. My email address is in the description to the video, and I'll be happy to do a full reading for you, whether that is a Bazi reading or a Qimen reading for 2025. And otherwise, any comments, any questions are always welcome. Just put them in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next upload. Take care, guys.